Did that on purpose. So if you can.
We'll be up there, you'll be in the room.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Then you can come if you want.
I'm going to.
Come, don't come.
Come, don't
I have
come.
a feeling.
We're ready.
If there's any fourth grade questions, though, you're answering them.
So let me repeat the question, or if you could repeat the question.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Because that would be-
Sure.
You can repeat the question and Val can answer it.
So the question was, what kind of school are Ben and Bella doing? Do they have to do Zoom school?
So right now the way that our town is doing it is that it's hybrid, so we go 2 days a week and then we're at home the other two, and so we're in public school, but while we're in Kenya, I go to boarding school and Ben does homeschool.
But she started doing Zoom school before they left Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So the question was, when did we come home? So we were supposed to be coming home this year anyways. This was our kind of 4-year on and 1 year home in the US cycle. That got moved up quickly by COVID. So we came home in the middle of June. As we saw less and less flights leaving the country, we thought, if we're going to get Elizabeth to college, because it was still going to be on, that we ought to go. And so, yeah, so we've been home since late June.
Yeah.
It is 3 hours from where we live. It's like an hour outside of Nairobi.
Has the COVID improved or gotten worse in Kenya?
So, when we left, has COVID, sorry, I'll take this off. Has COVID improved? COVID has been, when we left, we had spent a lot of time working to plan what to do about COVID, but we hadn't seen any cases in our county. And it's just been, I would say, in the last month that COVID has really become a huge problem in our rural area. So it was a long time from March till July. We didn't have any. It was in the country, but not where we were. But now it's a really big problem, and so we're just praying for God's grace and wisdom for them. Just even this week is now when we're hearing staff are having problems, and it's just in the community. So, yeah. That's our tiny little ER. It's still tiny.
ER still in the same spot? You still have somewhat, so still.
Yeah. So we hadn't done anything, and we just heard the other news we heard this week was a prayer request from our tiny little ER that fits, remember, 7 patients, and we only put the sickest people in there. We don't. It's not like, oh, I have a sniffle or whatever, and you go to the ER. Like sometimes might happen here. But yeah, they texted and they were like, we have 30 people in our ER. I mean, so I don't know where they were because you can't physically fit 30 people even in chairs, even if they're all like lined up and right next to each other. So they must have been outside in that.
It's actually called, I think it's because of the British system, is it called casualty?
It's called casualty, yeah. So we had 30 people, and yeah, it's been really, it's a tiny room, right? I mean, yeah.
Yes, Bill?
I want to know Ben's favorite subject in school,
Ooh.
and then his favorite thing to do is football.
Okay,
Okay, in Kenya. Tell them about the pit.
we'll give him a minute to think about it.
You can pull the snap. They won't be able to hear you. Okay, all right.
Okay,
So
speak loudly.
what's your
Or you
favorite
can tell me.
subject, Ben?
Maybe art.
Art. Art's his favorite subject. And then in Kenya, what do you do when you're not in school?
I go down to the pit where there's frogs and mud and snakes and fish and dragonflies, and I go down there with my friend and go and catch. It's a lot of frogs. Once we caught 12.
Yeah.
12 frogs.
What's your friend's name then?
What? Well, MT, David, Luke.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed in the number of kids that are around to play with, and the wide open space, including the pit.
Usually they're about this.
No, they're not that big.
They
If
can be that
stretch,
big.
they can be this long.
Those tall tales Kenyan style.
When they
They're
stretch their legs out, I suppose, maybe.
Yeah.
They're pretty small.
They're like this long usually. The biggest one we saw was like this long.
Maybe the size of your hand.
Yeah,
Good.
Stretched out this long though.
yeah, that's a good
But
question.
they fit well in my hand.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
Have you found turtles?
Couple.
Yeah,
They're water scorpions.
water scorpions.
Yes.
It's true.
Giant water bugs. Don't actually hurt that much.
Yeah, they bite, yeah. I'll tell you a very short, funny story. So I teach science, that's one of my jobs when we're there, and I was teaching the younger elementary school age, and we were doing flying creatures, anyway, insects. And I was reading, and I'm like, oh, water scorpions, and some of them have the most painful bites of any insect in the world. And so I'm telling them, and they're like, oh, we have those in the pit. And I was like, no, I don't believe you. And they bring it out, and we're studying this insect, and sure enough, it's a water scorpion. But maybe it's a different species, because it didn't, he's like, I've been bitten, it didn't hurt that bad. Like, I don't know, but
It only
anyway,
hurt like someone dropped a brick on my ankle.
okay.
That kind.
Any other questions? Hopefully that means we've given you a good idea of what Kenya's like. Elizabeth.
So she's at Messiah College. So the question was, where's our oldest? She's at Messiah College, and she is studying psychology. This is her first semester. They've really been, praise the Lord, able to stay in school.
Yeah.
So she'll be coming home in about a week and a half for Thanksgiving, and then they'll stay for an extended break rather than going back. So they'll go back in January.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave.
The orphanages, did you go to I'm like, wait a minute.
We did the island.
You did the, yeah,
Yeah.
you did the clinics, and then,
One clinic, I remember the dentists were working in the bar area.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, where we were out in the community right near Tenwick.
I think some people have gone out there, so like community health
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think I've been there.
I don't think we've been back out. So oftentimes, when we go out, it's to work alongside somebody that's already working there, right? And so there are other missionaries that have ongoing ministries in those areas.
Yeah.
And so we will bring a team out to help accomplish something, and then they do a lot
Yeah.
of the follow-up work. So
Yeah.
I wish we had more
Yeah,
follow-up.
Sorry, I could
for you.
ask, one of the missionaries works with Tabitha Ministry, which is the women's ministry that we work, and I should have asked for follow-up. That would be Rose's husband, I think.
No, I think he's talking about Wesley, the one that
Oh,
came out to the
Wesley?
island with us?
No?
Wesley, yeah, I'm not
Gabriel.
sure. I'm not sure. Was it Gabriel? Was it Gabriel?
Oh, yes, it was
If
Gabriel.
it was
Yes.
Gabriel.
Sorry, we've had a number of
I'm like,
people come.
um,
Now it's all coming together. Yes,
I think
Gabriel
it
was
was-
with us.
I think it
So he's still pastoring.
Yeah.
Their church is actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We can't tell you in the midst of COVID how they're doing, but yeah, no, they're meeting regularly, and it seems to be a thriving local church.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Now that we
Took
got
us
to
a-
the
it
end
took
of
us
the
a-
question.
Took us a bit to figure it out.
I just have a good memory when we were seeing the slide of the looking down at the, in Tenwithney area.
Yeah.
So when we did our little climb there.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. Everyone's still alive.
Yeah, we're still.
Everyone's still here. Yeah, good. We still wear dresses there, let me tell you. We were just having a conversation about that on the way here. How sometimes you choose to give up your personal right, like my right to wear pants, right, in the community because we don't want to be a stumbling block for someone else. And so it was just we were just talking about that, how sometimes you choose to do things for other people. And that applies a lot to the whole COVID issue, is what I was thinking as we were talking about it, is there's just sometimes you do things for others, not because, you might have a right to not to, but you do it because you want to respect others and be a good witness, so, anyway, yeah. Or they ridicule
That
you.
still happens.
Yeah, that's
There are more men wearing shorts now, though, so you wouldn't be as ridiculed.
not many, though.
Not many, not many.
Yeah,
There's me.
yeah, there's
I'm
been,
a kid.
yeah.
How seasonal is your area of Kenya? I mean, temperature-wise, what is it like?
No, this is like horrible, like it never gets this cold. Like, ever.
We're like, what? It's cold.
I know. Yeah, usually it's in between like the 50s and like the 80s. Like it's a constant, like often it is sunny in the morning and it rains, like just downpours all afternoon. But
Unless it's the dry
yeah,
season.
we've got like rainy season versus dry season. Rainy season, that's what it does. And then dry season, usually it just doesn't rain for like weeks at a time. But that's when it's hotter.
When,
Changing, you never really know, but usually March,
Yeah.
April, May,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Usually that's our rainy.
I think you had a question over here.
Yes, how does the Kenyan government relate to our government? Do we support the government? And one more question, how do Kenyans respond to Americans? And then how do they feel about how we handle COVID?
Those are all really great questions. So the first question is, how does the Kenyan government and our government interact? The second was about how Americans are perceived, and then how are we perceived in terms of our COVID response. And so the Kenyan government and the American government actually work reasonably well together. I think the American government is supportive of Kenya. There's a lot of other nations nearby that we are not supportive of as a government. And so Kenya in general, Kenya and America see close similarly in many ways. In terms of how do the Kenyan people see Americans, I think for the most part, there's actually been a good connection over the years. There's been opportunities for Kenyans to come over and get some education, and so they see that as a benefit. Education is very highly prized there, and so when they come back, they see the positive interactions that they've had. I think overall Kenyans are favorable toward Americans. And then in terms of the COVID response, this is a very interesting area because I think America is not doing as well as people would think we would because of the resources that we have. I think from outside the country, people see America as a leading healthcare place. And when they see the numbers that we're producing of new COVID, they're not quite understanding how those two put together. And one of the things I think that Kenya did, and Janice mentioned this, is they have enacted almost immediately when COVID came a public health law that allows the public health system to override many of the normal governmental systems. And so they just assume everybody in the world does that. And of course, here in America, that is not how we function. And so they're a little bit questioning, why is this happening in America? And it is a little bit hard to help them understand why, because it's very culturally different. But those are great questions, thank you. Anything else? So the best way to answer any of these questions is to come. And so when COVID gets
Or
behind
come
us,
back again.
or come back. When COVID gets behind us and, and the Lord allows, we'd love to have another team. I think you guys were a great team. You really enhanced our ability to do ministry there in many ways. And so, I would love to see you guys think about another team coming out at some point.
I know.
Yeah, you probably didn't even, you wouldn't be able to see him at all.
I might be able to walk through there.
Yeah, you could have walked right through, but, well, thank you so much for having us come. We really have appreciated being here. It was great to be with you guys again.
Great to be here.
Yeah, COVID has definitely changed the way we're able to meet with people, so we're grateful to at least have this opportunity. Yes.
It has.
So true, so
Yeah.
true. We came back with, like, the benefit of coming back is always to be able to reconnect, and we're kind of like, it's hard to reconnect, so, but we just want to do it in a safe way, so we're thankful. Thank you for letting us
Welcome.
come.
Thank you.
Yeah.